Hi guys, it's me, Tsukuyomi again. Long time no see. After taking a long break for the Chinese New Year, I finally back and here to show you the update to the spreadsheet. Many of you might already waited for long that you can use. Although I stated that you do not need the spreadsheet for the simplified variant or the duocaster variant, but some of you or many of you might still wish to have this one. So I've made some update to the spreadsheet I shared before, and I also linked the spreadsheet again in the description as well as a pinned comment, so that you guys can download it. And here are the updates I made it. Before I started, do aware that you are not supposed to directly edit my spreadsheet. You should always copy it, make a copy of your own. So the changes here, many of you might already notice that one commit per BI is changed to 15 cats per second. It is thanks to our Discord member Bacon, who made the one commit per BI setup and noticed the strange behavior. It is considered for me. I considered it to be a bug because if I'm intensively abusing this feature or this behavior, we can achieve something very crazy. Which I'll discuss more in the next video, and let's just let the GGG decide whether it should be nerfed because it's too powerful, or should be left as it is so we can use it, or it is just a bug and must be fixed. So let's go on. Basically, I fixed several issues where the 2 commits and 3 commits per BI referencing the wrong cells for the calculation and validation. Now it should reflect the result correctly, and I add back all the Dropbox for the level quality setup for the bearer invocation and commit, and that's basically it. Which more important is the new subsheet simple CWDT calculator. Here I actually removed all informations needed for fine-tuning, so some of you can just simply use it to calculate it, to verify and calculate your setup. And also I provided a setup that you can make your own bearer invocation spell combinations, which is here. I give you up to 5 slots so that you can put up to 5 spells. But do notice the capacitor requires 1 slot, so if you are going to use capacitor, you should leave 1 spell empty. And here I've listed all the spells I tested, or saying that it is usable, we can use it under Demon Form and can benefit from the Demon Form. And you can simply select it, and the energy gain calculation and all the calculations will be done automatically, the energy related calculations. But in order to calculate the infinite flame requirement, so that you can verify whether your current setup can loop or you are going to suicide, you do not need to put in the mana cost or the infinite flame costs after transform into the demon form. So in this case, and do notice the order here does matter. You have to put the same order you put in the bearer invocation in game. Swapping that in order, like put comet first and then bone cage, gives different calculation result and might make your loop unable to start. Okay, so how do I get the mana cost of bone cage or comet after transform into the demon form? let me just show you. So because you know that the mana cost here or the mana cost here is not correct, what we are going to do is simply we transform into Demon Form, press P to pause our in-game time, so we do not need to worry about our life and running out of going out of Demon Form if we are not hurry enough. So simply press P to pause your game. Then click any of the quick bar slots. So you get this menu where the gem skills also shows your skills that's slotted in the bear invocation. Here you can just hover your mouse over it and read the mana cost. So this is the correct mana cost, like this. So for the bone cage, we put in simply 444 like this in game showed, and the comet, it is 1391. So like this. And the save cast should be calculated automatically. The target cast is more for like single spare or some spares that has their save cast more than one. So that you can say, I do not want to be safe, I want to be more powerful, and I'm okay to die because of the mana overflow or spamming that it might kill me, or because I take damage and mess up my loop. You can put it here, which is also used same function if you are going to use this sheet to calculate the advanced variant, which is single comet in BI. I'll show you later, but now we for dual caster variant and or any variant which are aiming, safe, spam, and no interference or sudden death due to network lags or like the sudden frame drops, you should simply concentrate on this row. So the save cast per BI simply means the number on the BI icon after each loop or after the initial self damage should show. So in this case, we harm ourselves once, it shows 1. And this is the 1 you should meet, or the save cast per BI. The save cast energy requirement, if you simply ignore it because it is the energy, if you want to calculate it yourself. The minimum energy gain modifier needed, if we are doing the save cast, you just need to have your energy gain at least on this value. You can go over, it won't kill you and it won't do anything, it won't harm at any way. It just some energy got wasted. So it's totally fine if you have more when going the save casts, but it's critical and it's lethal if you go over, if you are going targeting a cast that less or differs to the save cast per second. Okay, the cast time is just a reference, and the cast per second is just also a reference to BIs that you are able to trigger, or the BI loops you are able to do per second. Here is a suggested maximum fire resistance from with 0 gain from passive tree, which means you unallocate all these energy gain nodes simply using your BI and your life, how much maximum fire resistance or the fire resistance you should go in order you can loop. In my case, it is exactly the same because I already unspec'd all the nodes and fine-tuned it myself. In your case, you might find out that you can go higher, or you can go lower if you want to free up all these 7-point passive points, because they are precious. With 7 points, I can get here like about 30% extra damage. Okay, so the self damage per second ideal case and the self damage per second shocked ideal case are simply the damage you're taking every second without any hit from monsters or grunts and other things. Here will give you a reference how many ES regen you should get from the flask. If you're B green, if your ES regen from a flask are going to be higher than these values. And the minimum infinite flame requirement is the minimum value you have to meet in order you can loop without killing yourself when spamming. And while the maximum infinite flame, it should be limit. Is the absolute maximum which you should never exceed in order if you want to loop. If it goes over, then either you can loop for like 1 or 2 seconds and you stops, or you're simply never able to loop. It is a hard limit. You should never get your infinite flame over it. So they also got green background if your infinite flames actually meet the requirements. And all, like stated here, all the yellow colored cells are the cells that you can put into your own damage value or your customization. So this is the setup. If we are going to do the detonate dead, it will also tell you what kind of energy gain you are going to need, like this and that. So just like this, it's not go over because it is not still not enough to get next 1% maximum fire resistance. Okay, now things goes more interesting. This, if you delete one spell, so you left only one spell in it, it actually turns into a 2 comet per BI setup, or you can also make it to calculate spark for you if you want to use spark. So in this case, if we are going to use a comet with capacitor, which is the setup here, in the advanced variant, it shows us that the safe cast is 3 comet per BI, which is very safe, but we do need a tons of infinite flames in order to sustain it. And here below, we can simply specify the cast per BI or the number of comets per BI ourselves. If we want to target the same result as this one here, we simply put 2 here. Then it's 2 comets per BI calculations. Here are all the restrictions and all the numbers you want. And do notice, same in order you want to spam it as long as possible, you should have exact the number of energy gain modifier showed here, suggested here in your in-game. So it's 149. I'm not by no means going to reach it with this my current setup, and I also do not want to test it. But we can use another example, which many of you might already interested in for long time, which is spark. So for spark, we do not need capacitor, and we simply swap to spark. Now, let's just simply swap it out, and put in our spark. Sorry? Yeah. Let's put in this one. Get lightning mastery. And that's basically it. Our spark costs is 196. So 190. sorry, here, 196. It says we cannot do it because our mana is not enough, sufficient for this cast. So if we are fine, we can say check if 6 casts per second per spark can do it. It shows all green. It's okay, so we can use it. But it does require 75% energy gain modifier in total. What we have is 69. What we can do is like we simply swap 1 out, and I have 6% energy gain from Sapphire. I swap in 1, so I get 75. This I'm not going to discuss in details because all the early videos already showed it, how you can do this with the mana gain and other things. You just do it yourself, do the math, or swap to get a new better invocation. It doesn't matter. So we now have 75, which is an exact match to the suggestion here. You should never exceed it. You should never be more because it will kill you. And you should also should not be less because it won't loop, or it will make your loop fail. So in this case, I have the exact one, and let me just show you how it works. So because I'm using the hypothermia, this mana does matter because it's overflowing too much. And if I hold it. Let's see, I'm looping now safely, but do aware, if you're targeting less than the safe cast, any hit you take will contribute, and any internet lags or your computer lags will potentially kill you or force you to release your spam button. In this case, it's okay. So I'm looping here. And for the 7 per cast, we should lower our skill gem level by 1, and so it's 173. And that we can loop. And it's because we are doing safe, we can go over it. And as you see, that my current energy gain modifier is 75. We can still unslot it. What we can do is simply, because we have a support gem called Impetus, which gives us 40%. So we can simply slot it onto it. So we get 109, which is over the 104. And as we are doing the simple safe loop, it is okay that we go over it. And now, 1 self-damage should give us enough. In this case, sorry, I was running out of mana. Okay, so this time I'm doing the absolute safe cast. And network lags or like the monster hits should never mess up my loop, and thus I'm safe. And it also tells how much self-damage or how much damage you take per second. And you can also refer to make decision like if you're doing the safe spark loop, then you actually only need, in my case, 3k recovery. So 8k is absolutely an overkill. I can save up several passive points or several gems, jewels, to reduce my life regen and use it elsewhere for like more recoup or like for more damage. And that's basically it. The next video, I'm going to tell you about the bugs or the features I discovered about the bearing vacation loop, but it might take some time, and I beg you patience. I thank you for your audience, and see you next time. Bye bye.